So one thing I figured out is playing with high gain amplifiers, you really want to find the right amount of gain where you're not oversaturating it, where all you're hearing is the kind of mush tone of the amp. You want to be able to hear the actual guitar pickups, be able to hear everything that's going on there. So obviously it's going to differ depending on which kind of amp you're playing and what kind of guitar, what kind of pickups, but for this particular combination with the CVH on this guitar, I usually like my gain to be about 40%, but there's a couple tests I do just to try to figure out if I've got enough gain or do I have too much gain. Of course, it's also going to depend on what style of music you're playing. But so here's my little thing that I do. So right about here, it sounds about right. This amp has so much gain on tap that you really don't need to go very high on it. What I listen for are the footsteps. And what I mean by that is if you muffle the strings and you play a little something, I'm listening for a little pitter patter of little footsteps. So you can hear them there, not just the notes, but you can hear the actual hammering of the fingers. Too much gain and you lose that. I throw the gain over here at 75%. It's really heavy and everything, but I'm not going to hear the same little pitter patter. I'm hearing the notes, but I'm not really hearing the articulation of the strings themselves. Roll the gain back to where I had it. Now it pops out front. I want to be able to hear the articulation of every little thing that you're picking, even the mistakes or everything, just to get the character of your playing to come through instead of just a generic, overdriven, oversaturated tone. Another little test I do is, again, looking for the articulation of the notes. You can still hear the chugging, it's plenty crunchy. But you can hear the distinct chords. And of course, to see if it's really still heavy enough gain, you just play the heaviest riff of all time. Another thing that I discovered here, which gives the tone a cool little twist, more a kind of late 70s, early 80s, George Lynch, Randy Rhoads, Van Halen kind of sound, is using my chorus, but I'm turning the depth all the way down. I'm not completely off, but just about 0.1%, leaving everything else kind of in the middle and the rate about 30%. But it just gives it kind of the sound, it kind of pushes the highs a little bit, and the guitar sound cuts through a little more, and it kind of makes it sound like the amp is sitting in a tunnel or something. So you can hear it. Without it. With the chorus. Wouldn't use that for every application, but again, if I'm going for that kind of 80s metal sound, it seems to get it.
with that chorus dialed in, the depth is at almost 0. The rate's only about 30%. Everything else kind of straight up and down. If I turn that depth up, it's going to give us more of that classic sound. Which is cool. I mean, if you're playing Rush or something like that, where you really want that jazz chorus kind of sound, but sometimes you don't really want that. It's a little too much depth in there. So again, by rolling that depth down, dramatically changes what that tone is.